there. Welcome to Within Living's YouTube channel. My name is Lois, and I'm happy that you're here. Thank you for coming. Here, our conversations are focused on consciousness. And what is consciousness? Consciousness is the infinite intelligence. God, if you will, or the source, the creator, the spirit, whatever you're comfortable with calling it. And we want to focus on going back and living within ourselves, then connecting back to that consciousness, because we were created in the image and the likeness of this consciousness, and living from our divine state of being. So awakening, if you will, to the consciousness of who we were indeed created to be. We're spirit beings and we're magnificently made. So I'm happy that you're participating in this conversation. If this resonates with you, then I'd really love it if you just go ahead and join the conversation. Subscribe below and leave a comment in the comment box. I really love hearing what you have to say. I read them and I promise you I will respond to you. All right, so today's conversation, I want to talk about reality. What really is reality? Let me start by asking you, what do you believe reality is? What is reality to you? Because it's not a wrong or right question. It's a matter of understanding, if you will, or our perceptions. So what is reality to you? And do you believe that reality actually is the truth of who you are? When I say reality as your truth, I mean the reflection out. Do you believe that your outward experiences then is the truth of who you are? That's what we want to talk about today. So, from my understanding and my experiences, reality is not my truth. No. Reality, what we call reality anyway, which is the three-dimensional world, or the reflection, if you will, of our inner world, the experiences that we're going through, life, if you will, the manifestations. They are only a reflection of who we, honest to goodness, are within. Because you see, the law, and in the metaphysics law, it states, as above, so below. As within, so without. The law states, spiritual law, universal law, across all religions, states that as we believe, so we become. It says, it is unto you as you believe. So whatever you and I believe as a conviction that it is true to us, that is what we get to experience. That is what becomes pushed out by the subconscious mind, the I am within. It is pushed out and then reflected without as the experiences of our life. So, if we're experiencing in the reality outside, the three-dimensional world, if you will, something that we would rather not, or we prefer to have something different, how would we go about changing that? Can we change it? Are we destined for that experience? In my experiences, I think not. And I think not because we have been given by the Creator our free will. It's a birthright gift. If we were not given this gift, we would have been clones. We're not. We're given the free will of the choice to choose. It says, choose you this day. You, and I, me. We get to choose what we will. And what we get to choose is we get to choose by the thoughts. Again, we're back to this conversation of thoughts. Because as I think, so I become. So whatever my quote unquote reality is reflecting at the moment. Reality is only, reflecting back to me who in the very depths of my inner being, my subconscious mind, my soul, or some might call the spirit, my spirit, who I have become convinced that I am. And mind you, whether I am consciously aware of this conviction or not, doesn't change a thing. It doesn't change a thing. That's why it is so important that I, you, all of us, become aware of our thoughts. Because it's the consistent, repetitive thought patterns that creates the habit, that forms the belief, that becomes the conviction, that becomes the personality, if you will, that is then pushed out into the physical world as our life experiences. So reality, whatever reality is, it's not hardened. It is a fact, yes, that it is, but it's not irreversible. Whatever the experience is that we're experiencing today, whatever that quote unquote reality is, we, and only we, you and I, each of us individually, have within us, in the very source of our existence, in the God presence within us, in the soul of who we are, the true nature and the true identity of who we are, our divine nature, our divine God self. We have the power within us there to choose to change the outward experiences of what we call reality. And the way we go about changing that, let's say the outward experiences is one that has been chaotic, a lot of challenges, a lot of difficulties. Let's stop, take our focus off of what is going on outside of us, because that is not the true self. It's not, that is not really the real. The real is within. The real is you. The real is me. The real reality, the real power is who you are within, in your divine nature, in your God presence, in your God self. That is the real you. So let's take our focus off, let's say, the chaotic circumstances without, because they're only the reflection, and go back and take an honest assessment of how we have been perceiving self. Who have we been believing that we are? Get still and listen to some of the thoughts that are going on, not just in the brain, but the subconscious mind. Those very, very subtle, what they call the still small voice, very subtle, very quiet thoughts. They're almost like an impression. I think we can make an analogy of it to what we call intuition, that quiet impression. What is the predominant energy or thought of that impression? Take inventory of that. And I believe that if you will do this as an exercise, just take some time, give yourself a week, 15 minutes a day to just sit, close out the outside noise, get into a quiet space by yourself, uninterrupted, and honestly, sincerely listen to the thoughts that are going on, the chatter. This is brain chatter. But more importantly, listen to the undercurrent of those quiet voices from the subconscious mind. It is going to reveal to you and show you what your predominant state of thought has been. That is going to reveal to you who you have been assuming, accepting as truth, whether you were doing so consciously or subconsciously, that you are in your subconscious mind, okay? And if once you become aware of that, that is not in harmony with who you want to be, then here's how we're going to change that. You're going to look at and acknowledge, yes, the outward experiences have been chaotic, and they have been chaotic because this is who I have been believing that I am. However, now I am making a change. And again, always affirm in the first person present tense. You're calling the creative aspect of you into place to become that to you. So now you're going to go back and you're going to look at the divine nature of who you were created to be. You were created already abundantly supplied. You were created infinitely loved and adored. You were created supported. You're created provided for. The world, the creation is already completed. There's nothing you could ever desire or want that's not already available to you. Your place is to accept it. So once you go back and look at your true nature, your true identity of who you were created to be, then you create an affirmation based on who you were created to be. That is going to counteract what the outward projections have been. So let's say it has been chaotic. We'll create an affirmation that says, I am loved and adored. I am perfectly at peace. I am provided, and I'm always supplied and supported. Yes? And you just keep reinforcing this. You just start to reinforce this. You begin to then pay attention to the chatter of the mind. Pay attention to the quiet disruptions that are coming up from the subconscious of the old nature of you. And remember this, once you set that intention that you want to bring about this change, that you're going to align, if you will, come in harmony with your true divine nature. You're no longer going to accept the chaos that has been happening in the outward world. You're now going to bring peace, prosperity, security, love into your outward world. Then know this, once you sincerely decide that is what you're going to have, and you decree it as so, it becomes yours in that instance. It absolutely becomes yours in that instance. It does not become yours when you see it manifested. And I believe that this has been a huge disconnect, especially in the religious world, because I think we've been taught that we're going to believe it when we see it. And that's why we become so fixated on what's happening in the without, because we believe that our physical world, what we're seeing and feeling, is the real deal, and it's really not. So really remember that once you decide and you make that commitment, the law says what you desire, when you ask, pray, decree, affirm for it, believe you have received it. Have. The word have is present past participle. It was already yours. It is yours. It is always going to be yours. You take ownership of it then. You take possession of it then. You begin to claim it then. You begin to live in it then. That is the faith. That is the faith. That is the thought that you're going to change in the brain to create a new thought wave pattern, a new conviction then. Overriding the ego that no, I am not chaotic. That's not the personality I'm choosing. I am choosing a personality of peace. I am choosing a personality of joy. I am choosing a personality of love. I am choosing a personality where I've already been super abundantly supplied. That then will become recorded in the subconscious mind or the soul as your conviction. And remember, whatever the subconscious mind is accepting at this very moment as your predominant energy, as your predominant belief, as your conviction, it is bound to push that out for you into the physical world. Remember, the subconscious, the soul, is God. God is the I am. Whatever you're affirming, I am, accepting, I am to, believing, I am to be, God can't judge you. God, have to push that out to you in your physical world, in your physical experiences, to prove to you that yes, this is who you believe that you are. There's no wrong or right. No judgments here. No wrong or right. God simply says, kiddo, this is who you believe you are. This is who you've decreed me to become to you. This is who I am to you. Okay? So again, reality, or what we call reality, it's only a reflection of what is in the within. Reality, you don't need to look at your outward experiences for validation. You are the validation. Once you know who you are within, because you have made that decree, you know who you are at your source, you know who you are in consciousness. And once you decree that, know the power of your word. Know that your word cannot return unto you void, not unless you allow it. Don't allow it. Why allow it? It's your word. Your word is your prize, and you are worthy. You're absolutely worthy of everything that you desire and decree. So don't allow it to come back void. That's just a trick of the ego. Take your power back from the ego. Take the power from the ego. Deflate the ego. Allow your spirit, the true aspect of you, to be the dominant part of your personality. Allow God to reign. Allow God to reign. Create the reality in your three-dimensional world that you desire to experience. And do so by aligning with who you are within, conforming to that true divine nature, decreeing it, declaring it, and then being a soldier of the thoughts. Yeah, it's like being a little soldier of all the thoughts, right? And you consistently, repetitively affirm. And by the way, as you're going through this process, be prepared that the ego is not going to just roll over and die. Nope, it does not do that. It's going to kick up and it's going to kick back. And as you're affirming that I am in peace, I am loved, I'm cared for, it's going to throw up everything it possibly can to say, no, you're not. And that's where you have to be strong in your conviction. That's where you have to really put your foot down and say, oh, no, you don't. This is who I am. This is who I am. This is what I have. And I will not accept anything less. And you just continue to exercise your authority. Remember, you got authority. You got authority over you, not over anybody else. Nobody else, just you. So exercise that authority over you. And just continue to reinforce with the new thought who you're wanting to experience being, with a conviction that you already have it, and it absolutely must show up. And it will. And as you do this, then yes, the brain will begin to build new thought pattern for you. And if you are consistent with it, Before too long, you'll have a whole new thought pattern created of this new belief of what you want to experience in your reality. It will bypass your ego, be impressed upon your subconscious mind. It will be reflected in your three-dimensional world, and that will become your new outward reality, okay? So again, your outward reality is only a reflection of who you are within. Don't like what it is at the moment? No worries. Never any worries. Change your perspective of you. Change your identity of self. Change the thought, and you'll change your world. Okay, my intention was that this will bring a blessing to you, and that you will take what you can out of, take what you want out of here, apply it, and that you will get some results in your own life. So until the next video, I just want to remind you that there's only one love, one God, one consciousness, and we, you and I, are all a part of this incredible thing called life, this one consciousness in which everything exists. And it loves us with a love that is beyond expression. We're loved unconditionally. No faults found. Your source, your God, your creator has never, ever, ever found any fault with you. Therefore, let me encourage you, find no fault with yourself, but instead find every good and perfect gift that you have to give thanks and praise for, and praise yourself. Prize yourself. You are the prize. There's no greater prize than you. You're the prize. You're it. We're in this one love together. Let's share it. Let's spread the love. Until next time, peace. Bye-bye for now.